There is a very important piece that I forgot. So hit the thumbs up and likes button. This is a Terminator stop codon, okay? And this is in the genetic process of what's happening. This actually has the ability to check in with your old identification, your old ego form where you were being vain, and actually to kill it, okay? To literally cause a mass death where, each and every person I've identified with, let's say I say I'm a bruja, let's say I say I'm a shaman, I say I'm an astrologer, I say I am blah, 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 I am, blah, blah, blah. Once you identify with that, this gate, this new moon in Gemini, you can actually set the intentions to let this identity die so that, a new fruitful reality may come and be born from literal and absolute darkness of the divine feminine chaos energy coming through and like Cali eating up all the demons in your life, eating up all the identities. And like I said, this was, I feel like I had to come back and say this because this Terminator, or what they call stop codon, Terminator codon, it's the kind of energy that literally will zap that false self out of reality, that inauthentic person who you are. Because as soon as we identify with something, we're already being inauthentic. And this is the awkward irony, which also, again, is that false illusion of the self separated from anything in reality, any organic or inorganic creature and substance or thing, person, place, or thing. All right. So that really matters. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that subscription. This is your AstroShaman. Ah, mm. Check our memberships this Sunday, June 18th. Happy Father's Day.
So the divine feminine, or what can be considered as the right brain, the creative brain, the intuitive brain, the brain of mysteries, dreams, fantasies, and so much more, okay, it's actually represented on this new moon in Gemini by gate 11 or Sagittarius. The new moon itself will be gate 12, so they're literally right next to each other. Now, here's what's ironic. The right brain is the feminine brain, right? But what's programming this new moon in Gemini at 26 degrees, okay, on June 18th, happy Father's Day to everybody out there, all right? Unfortunately, this message is not about fathers. This message actually has the energy of father moving forward, but we have to understand the shadow, which is coming from the divine mother or the feminine energy. So as we get into this message today about this Gemini new moon, hit the thumbs up and the likes button early. If you're brand new and you feel like you want to subscribe, definitely go ahead and do it. All right. So this is your AstroShaman Pernell Bobby. We are generating an economy of harmony, leveraging human design and genetic astrology. So ironically, we're actually meeting on Father's Day again for the membership meeting. We're going to talk elemental magic, water magic, fire magic. We took some votes and polls, and ether, okay, the element ether, the fifth element, was actually the most desired. So we're going to probably spend the most energy there, among other things. So I love it because we're expanding outside of astrology and human design itself and really working with everything in the universe, which astrology and human design are archetypes to help us explain blah, 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 which this gate in Gemini New Moon is all about. So when you look at new moons, you have to always remember step one, that the moon cannot be seen. And so this is already representing the unknown, where we're planting seeds until the moon is full 6 months later, where theoretically it would be in Sagittarius, but I don't know, because we're in these off seasons, so it could not be, but likely and normally 6 months later, what was unseen are steps that we are taking. And I say steps as a form of action, because the throat chakra, or the Vishuddha and Indian chakra culture systems, okay, Hindu culture, the Vishuddha or the throat chakra is where gate 12 in human design lies. And to help you understand, let's break in the shadow frequency, which is not good or bad, the gift frequency, which is not good or bad, and the Siddhi frequency, okay? The shadow frequency of gate 12, the Gemini new moon, at 26 degrees of Taurus, so this is what's gonna matter, is vanity, okay? And vanity is very different than ego. And so we'll explain what that's about in a second. And then from vanity, we move into discrimination. And discrimination is not just about, I'm discriminating against black people. I'm discriminating against, Asian food. It's not that simple, even though it has some links to it, okay? And then we move into the Siddhi frequency of purity, when you basically transcend the sense of duality between what would be vanity and discrimination, which I'm going to explain. Now, what's important about this as we get deeper into this Gemini new moon is to understand who's the programming partner, which is a Sagittarius gate, which is gate 11, and gate 11 comes prior. Now, what's ironic is gate 11 is actually all feminine energy, and so we need to start looking at Sagittarius this way, because Sagittarius is home in Jupiter with who? Pisces. And who else? Cancer and exaltation. This is a lot of the similarities between Saturn being obviously Capricorn domicile, but you have Libra and Aquarius. Brotherly energy, we look at Saturn as the father. So we need to start seeing Jupiter as the divine mother. Hello, exaltation, Cancer, divine mother. And there's no other planet that Sagittarius rules in. So understand, it is a part of this mutable energy. It can do this. All right, so let's dip into the new moon. The programming partner of the gate 11 is actually going to be at the shadow frequency. Forgive me, I'm thinking about the gift frequency right now, which is idealism, and the Siddhi frequency, which is actually light, and the shadow frequency is obscurity. Thank you, it's obscurity. So obscurity in this instance is literally Sagittarius and Mercury. Okay, Mercury and Sag. It's like their mind does not do well here on Earth, but it is a divine feminine energy. If somebody had a Mercury, let's say in Sagittarius at this gate 11, this is a divine feminine energy that its fantasy, its imagination is literally otherworldly. Okay, it connects with what we can consider the galactic center. So we know Sagittarius is at the galactic center of the universe. Okay, at least the universe and the fractals that we live in, right? So that's a whole nother topic. And so from this, it's basically saying obscurity. It's like, it makes me think of the Harry Potter movie, the remakes, where it's not Harry Potter, it's the World of Fantastic Beasts, and they have that emo looking kid, which I don't remember his name, but he had all this black obscure energy. I think they call it obscurity. And what's ironic is, you know, this is from so much suppression of his fantasies, of his dreams, of his hopes, like the divine feminine, which we have externalized in the world. And this is what you look at. Look at how repressed women are, have been, continue to maintain, but also the shifts, the quantum leaps in the freedom of the feminine, okay, what she's able to do and also not be judged by, because the right brain is not a very judgmental energy, okay? That's the left brain, it's the masculine energy, which is clear, okay? It's judgmental in the sense of it discriminates with a sense of clarity, with a sense of objectivity, which is in the external world what is dominant, okay? This patriarchal vision of the world right now. But a lot of that is because of how we have suppressed our fantasy, our dreams, our creative energy, ability to go out there and recognize that chaos energy, chaos dragons, chaos itself, okay, the dark feminine energy is not bad or good. Lucifer is not bad or good, okay, nor is Jesus good or bad, okay. This dualistic thinking is currently limited by our language. And so when we look at the new moon and Gemini, I would personally recommend you set some intentions 6 months move forward about unraveling the secrets of language, okay, unraveling the shield. And I say shield because gate 12 or Gemini New Moon is represented by the thyroid, or aka the throat chakra. The thyroid is really responsible for our metabolism and, you know, how we work through a lot of processes in our body. Like you can blow up and become overweight, you can, you know, be anorexic, you can not digest certain enzymes and minerals. The thyroid is responsible for a lot of things, even though it starts up here in the throat. And there's this principle that we have to look back at where it's like, you know, humans, what has allowed us to create the ego, okay, as a part of our true selves and as a part of a delusion, okay, and bear with me on this new moon, is that our throats, our larynx is actually vertical and most animals are horizontal. And so what this has done is created an illusion of the self or the ego, which allows us to be vain. And vain in this instance is not like pride. It's not this overt and external, like, you know, hey, look at me kind of Leo energy. It's more vanity. It's more like it's hidden. It is in the shadows. It walks alongside. And it is the kind of energy that externally will say something like, I agree with you, but internally we don't. And it's the kind of energy that hides with us as we continue to climb the mountains of success. Vanity often stays, and it's like, you know, especially in the spiritual community, it's like, I feel better than you, even though I don't verbally say that. I just carry this aura like I am. And it's like, well, that's not really love, and that's not me loving myself, because I'm not loving you, and if I don't love you, I can't love myself. And that's really the way out of vanity, okay, when you look to set some new moon intentions on this Gemini new moon, we gotta really start learning to discriminate. And this is what the gift frequency is. And the gift frequency of discrimination is really saying like, hey, you know what's good for you and what's bad for you, and it's all about authenticity, quite frankly. So it's not about these family conditioned patterns, which that is linked and kind of combobbled into the whole mix. So you have to take heed of, especially at 26 degrees, this is foundational wealth, foundational family patterns, and very stuck images that we hold on to. Language is one of the ways that if we can reverse engineer language, which this throat chakra is about, and use it to speak truth, okay, or to be authentic in ourselves, we ultimately realize that we love everybody. And that's how essentially we start breaking through the veil and the illusion of that vanity does not exist. Because the moment that we speak about vanity, the moment we say I'm not vain, you are actually being vain. And this is what's so complicated about vanity. So the only way you really can work through this is to love harder and to recognize that, the programming partner of this is obscurity. And it's the kind of thing where it will block certain light frequencies, certain sound frequencies that doesn't allow you to hear a certain language outside of you. So when your internal dialogue says something like, I'm worth nothing, even if somebody outside of you says you're worth everything, your light frequencies has been transformed and coded where you can't understand that outside presence. And so you essentially divulge into this diluted inner world of what your reality is. And this is what actually programs our ability to be vain. So personal pen, we really need to address this first, because if we don't, then we'll never be able to step into that gift of idealism, which is saying, look, you have this dream, you have this fantasy, you have this right-brained mentality that has been repressed, but now you're like trying to open it up because you met it with love, right? So the vanity's kind of sliding away as you met it with love, and now this idealism is, all it needs is a pragmatic approach. All it needs is a little bit of structure, a little bit of pragmatism. Okay, and now what's magical about this new moon is it's at 26 degrees, which is what? Taurus. Taurus is a very pragmatic sign. If anything, sometimes too pragmatic, too ritualistic, too, in its routines. But it adds that structure, it adds that earth, and this is what makes, these two gates, gate 12 and gate 11, pretty much magical, because our idealism, our dreams, our fantasies can actually take form and come true, especially as we speak it into existence. So this is the kind of new moon where when you're looking at your new moon goals, you want to speak it into existence and step into these life frequencies, step into what can be considered purity, and understand that these are above duality itself. Okay, so even though I'm using the language to help you understand it from a dualistic standpoint, that's just where we're at a mental cognitive level, so that we can actually break through this. Now what's magical about this is as you see women getting in the external reality more and more gifts and responsibilities and abilities to express themselves in art and creativity, you see LGBTQ, you see all of this. This is the right brain energy that is saying, look, as we have started to dig deeper into our inner selves and we realize like, this is who I am, this is my identity. It's also like getting there and then separating from that simultaneously. And this is the hardest part in my personal opinion. It's like, okay, once you realize like that this is who I truly am, it's also about primarily and simultaneously letting it go. And it's like, that's the hardest part, because it's like, I work so hard to get this deep into myself. And it's like, yeah, well, great, you've ascended, you've transcended, but transcendence is a downward spiral. It goes downward and inward. It does not go up to heaven. And this is the irony, because this is how we've been fooled, where going down is going to hell and going up is going to heaven. Where it's like, no, actually, you need to embrace that darkness and go downward and inward, because downward and inward, Scorpio teaches you, is where the purest light is. Hello. I felt it. Somebody was like, home run. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button, ladies and gentlemen. This is the new moon for me in a nutshell. Everything that I just said, you want to really look at that and reverse engineer it, personal opinion, and start embracing your vanity, and start embracing where you're obscure, where you put yourself into this diluted and fanatical and fantasy-based reality that has not been met with enough pragmatism, has not been met with enough structure and reality. The magical part is we already live in a patriarchal society, which means what? We have enough masculine energy already present. So this is not about, trying to hone your masculine energy. This is actually more about trying to continuously release your repressed divine feminine energy to let the chaos to destroy and bring you deeper into the darkness, into this downward spiral that goes inward. And as you allow and do that, you will naturally automatically embrace the light, and that will help you to remove this vain ego that travels with you, like I said, up the mountain to success, silently, okay, quietly, with this mentality as elitism, as like, look, I don't even need to say anything to you because I've already done my spiritual work, I've already done the work. And it's like, this is the most foolish thing I've ever heard, but it is what it is, and it's where we're at currently. And there's that other side of like, becoming completely maniacal and like really beginning to hurt people with your words. And we must watch this. Like when somebody's hurting you and they don't even have any conscious understanding that they're hurting you, this is a part of the Gemini that has not done enough shadow work, personal opinion, and they speak. And the thing is, all of Gemini's, gates are in the throat chakra, so the throat has the ability to take action and speak and to do and to create and to manifest. All the manifested gates come from the throat chakra into either the solar plexus or the ego, or aka the heart center. So it's like, keyword heart center. How can we follow our heart from a place of purity? And when we do that, we don't actually hurt other people, because as I hurt you, I'm hurting myself. And as I do that, that's also saying, I don't love you, I don't love myself. And so it's like, I can't really love myself until I try my best and my hardest to begin to love you for each and every one of your faults, especially as I discriminate through what's healthy here and what's not healthy here. And to be clear about that, but also to use language partially one as a shield, because again, the larynx, I believe in one of these cultures, it translates to shield, okay? Like a shield energy. So it's like, it is the shield between our lower chakras, our lower energy, our lower self, if you will, and how that likes to manifest into the external reality, including the heart, okay? And it's the gate, it's the shield that does not allow you to reach certain, third eye, crown, or even the 12 chakras above frequencies. This is the shield. This is the secret right here. This holds all the secrets. The throat chakra, what you say, what you don't say, okay? What you're able to intuit or not. Until we begin to burn with the flame of, divinity and celestial fires, we are unable to transmute these lower level energies, okay? Being our security, our sexual relationships, our over hungry and over ambitious energy. This new moon has the ability to actually transmute all that energy, okay? As we stop seeing things as good and bad, and we start to, again, discriminate with love and realize, look, I no longer can even hear what you're saying anymore, because I am actually digging deeper into my shadow self, and I'm actually digging deeper into, these conditioned behaviors. And as I take a true and sincere look at them, and I speak love into these dark spaces, I no longer look at these dark spaces as bad. I look at them as a part of what I need to do to get deeper in tune with my light, with what's pure about me. And once this happens, you step into this no mind space. You step into this, no longer identifying with the mythical creatures, because it's like, as soon as you start to identify with, let's say, being a shaman on this channel, for example, it's like you actually dilute the power of being able to embody the shaman. So it's like when somebody is like, oh, what are your future goals forward? And it's like, no goal, like to allow the space to fill in the blanks for me and to realize I'm again witnessing this entire journey. It's like, because like I said, as soon as you start talking about it, you already start to dilute. And that's what's so difficult and tough about it. But at the same time, it's also what's so magical about it. And this is why you always hear in so many cultures, surrender, 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 surrender. Because we are being informed and guided by something truly much greater and more powerful than each and every single one of us as an individual. And none of us are individuals. We are all shards of a grand crystal called divinity. And when we start recognizing that we are in the image of God, quote unquote, the text has already been there, it's already been said, meaning I am a part of God. Okay, I'm not separate from God. God's not separate from me, and I'm not separate from the cat or the plant or anything. And I am all one. And we could discriminate with that authentically. This idealism that we have about life and existence, and what foods we eat, what people we hang with, what movies we watch, what sex we have. Now we can start to actually engage and embrace each other and come back to love. love. This is all about falling deeper in love with yourself. Set intentions on this new moon in Gemini about falling deeper in love with yourself. How can I fall deeper in love with myself? How can I speak love into my relationships and the peers that are around me? How can I speak love into my money situation? How can I speak love into the foods that I eat by praying over that food and saying, thank you for fueling my body. Thank you for, blessing me with X, Y, and Z. Hi, baby. How can I love my baby? He's gonna go meow, 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 meow. Oh, wow. You just want the attention today, huh? Yeah. You wanna say hi to the people? Hi, people. My baby's a Scorpio all the way. Okay. Okay, go where you want. This is your AstroShaman Pernell Bobby. We are generating an economy of harmony, leveraging human design and genetic astrology. Join our membership. This Sunday we're meeting again. I think we're currently at about 15 members. Go ahead and join the cause if you feel you resonate with it. We're talking elemental magic. I imagine a lot on etheric fifth element. Okay, ether, the fifth element coming up. But also again, hello. Also again, water, fire, magic, earth, air, all right? Speaking about the angelic realms, okay? What order they come in, why, and how to transcend that all together, all right? We're generating an economy of harmony, leveraging human design and genetic astrology. I hope I clear-cut some of this today. Set your new moon intentions, ladies and gentlemen, and watch 6 months later these things come to fruition. Set them and leave them alone. Hit the thumbs up and the like buttons. Hit the subscription. I'll see you soon.